Hey there, I'm Shanda Troth, founder of Transcendent Publishing, and I'm here today with Michele Jackson, author of Journey to Peace and Healing. I'm so excited to get started and to talk to you about your book, Dawn. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Shanda.
Before we jump in, I just want to read a little bit about you and about your book for our viewers and our listeners. As a certified grief recovery specialist, infinite possibilities trainer, author, and nurse, Michele Jackson assists individuals who desire to transform their lives. Through working with clients, she helps them heal their hearts while creating wellness in mind, body, and spirit. Dawn's mission is to help others find their inner light and move from surviving to thriving. Her book, Journey to Peace and Healing, helps guide the reader in taking steps to transform their own life. Throughout the book, Dawn shares her journey to healing her own heart and finding peace again. This book offers tools, suggestions, and thought provoking reflective questions, along with real life stories. It empowers individuals to work on their own healing to create the peace they deserve moving forward. It reminds readers that they are not alone while navigating the mountains they must climb in life. And it encourages one to shine their own light for others to see. Oh, I just love that. It's such a beautiful book, and it's filled with so many wonderful examples from your life and lessons, and surely anyone who reads your book can resonate with something that you're sharing and take a nugget of gold from it. But I would love to ask you, what inspired you to write Journey to Peace and Healing?
So I've been wanting to write my own full-length book for a while. But really, it was this last year when I turned 50. I had some goals, which were kind of dreams of mine. And one of them was to write a book. The other two was kind of to change focus of my career and go backpacking for the first time in my life with my son. So I managed to do all three. But that's really kind of what inspired me was I just have always wanted to have my own book, and it would seem like a great time. I was just making lots of changes, and it was time to reflect on my own life and put it out into the world.
I love that. And that you're such a beautiful writer. I've followed your writing for many years. You share so beautifully with your lovely Facebook posts. And it's just so nice that you now have this full length book filled with these beautiful stories and lessons for your reader. And I love the format of it as well. So each chapter has its own theme. And then at the end of the chapter, you have reflective questions for the reader, and then you allow about a page for journaling space. And I love that format because it makes your book a helpful tool for them to maybe reflect on the lesson they learned from your chapter and how that applies to their own life and what they can take from it. So is this something that you see yourself working with your clients, your book as a tool?
Um, yeah, I can see using it a little bit with my clients. I really wanted to write something that was easy for readers to just digest and then to look at their own life and have some insight because I have spent so many years on my own journey of self healing. So I thought I have all this experience. Why not share it with others? So I will use it with some of my clients. I think the questions at the back of every chapter are really helpful and insightful. I mean, I even went through them myself when I was writing it.
Yes, there's just something about the book writing process that takes even the author on a journey of healing and self-discovery. Can you talk to us a little bit about your writing process? What was that like for you? Was it a drawn out long process, or was it something that happened rather quickly for you?
So this book was written in less than a year. It was very interesting because I kept trying to come up with an outline and I just couldn't do it. I think it's because I really write intuitively, which means I sit down and I'll just feel inspired and I'll just write what comes to me versus having an outline. I've never been able to write that way. So it was very interesting to see because at first I found myself frustrated that I couldn't come up with okay, this chapter is going to be about this chapter is going to be about that. It just was what came to me today.
I love that. And it poured out of you rather quickly once you made that decision that you were going to write this book.
Yes, it did. I was.
Yeah, I'd like to, that's a good point that you bring up, that you had a hard time with the outline. So many authors, so many first time authors get hung up on getting started writing because they feel like they have to have everything planned out before they begin. And the outline can be intimidating, and it can really get us inside our heads. We start thinking back to English class in high school when we think of an outline. So I love that you were able to follow your intuition and allow your intuition to guide you through the book writing process, and you just sat down and you started writing, and it all came together beautifully. So it's really very, very well done.
Well, thank you.
So what is next for you? Today is your book launch day. So today we're putting the book out into the world, which is so exciting. It's available on Amazon now. It's available with Journey to Peace and Healing. It's available on your website. What is your website, Dawn, for our viewers?
It's dawnmichellejackson.com. Super easy.
And that's Michelle with one L.
Yes, correct.
And I will post links to both Amazon and Dawn's website below the video so that anybody who's watching this maybe at a future date can grab a copy. But let's talk a little bit about how else you work with your clients. Like, what's coming next for you in your client work? Because I just feel like now that you have this out in the universe, it's really going to open doors to new things for you. What's coming next for you?
So one of the things I'm really putting out there is to start working with clients regarding grief. I recently became an advanced grief recovery specialist, which means I can work with clients online. It's very helpful because during the last few years, many people have not been able to, meet at a business or whatever because of the pandemic. So I will be able to help people through the grief recovery method online. So I'm going to be putting that out there. I am going to be offering some discounts for the first so many clients that I get. So I will be definitely posting that on my website and on Facebook. I also want to get started on another book. I'm actually thinking about writing a children's book about my kitty cat that we recently lost in December. She loved Christmas. So thinking about doing something kind of different, but there will definitely be lots of writing in the future. I just don't know where it will all take me.
I love that. And I love that you're going to keep writing because you're such a beautiful writer. And so I always encourage people to follow you on Facebook if they're looking for inspiration, because we have so much negativity that clutters up our news feeds every day. And then I run across one of your posts and they're so inspiring and uplifting. If somebody wanted to follow you on social media, where would they find you?
So Facebook, I have my author page is Dawn Michele Jackson. So you can find me there. I haven't started an Instagram professional page yet, but I think that is in the works soon because I've had a couple people ask me about it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. So we know we can get your book on Amazon. We know that we can get it on your website. What type of clients are ideal for the type of work that you do? If you could describe let's say your ideal client or somebody who could most benefit from working with you, where are they at in their life? What do they look like?
There are people who are really ready to heal and just focus on how they can move forward in life. And it's usually people who are realizing that they could be happier, they could feel more joy, and they're not living to the extent that they would like to. They're maybe surviving instead of thriving. So it's that type of client. I just did a women's retreat. So that's another thing that I'm working on is leading retreats. So I just facilitated one here a few weekends ago, and it was amazing the transformation that people had during the weekend. So, every time I watch people take steps forward and healing things that have hurt their hearts in the past, I just watch them really blossom and their light just shines so much brighter. And I remind people that when your light shines bright and when you put out that love and light into the world, that has a ripple effect. So it doesn't just affect the one person that you're having an interaction with, it affects hundreds, if not thousands, of people in the world.
Oh, I love that. And it's a nice reminder that we do our inner work and we work on ourselves and our healing, not just for ourselves, but for those around us, because it really is a ripple effect. It
Yeah,
does
I
work.
mean, it changes our relationships. It changes how we interact with people in our jobs, our careers. Changes how you interact with people at the grocery store. The world needs so much more light. And I was thinking when you were talking about my Facebook post, there was a time years ago where I actually thought about taking myself off Facebook because of the negativity, and I just decided I'm not going to make the choice to put out negative messages. I'm going to make the choice to put out light and love, and hopefully I can make a little bit of a difference by doing this. And that's why I decided to stay on Facebook. And I'm glad I did, because I really enjoy getting messages from people once in a while saying, that's just really what I needed to hear today is what you wrote. So
Yes, I'm so glad you decided to stay on Facebook too, because you are a light, a beacon of light in our world. And we're at a time where we need it. We need your positivity, we need your words, and we need your book. So I know it's going to be a blessing to so many. And I just want to thank you for allowing me to work on it with you and us at Transcendent Publishing. It was an honor and a joy working with you through the entire process. You were so easy to work with, and it's just been such a pleasure.
well, I want to thank you for always believing in me and pushing me to embrace my gifts and keep writing. So if it weren't for you, this book wouldn't be out there. So thank you very, very much from my heart, Shanda.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. I always knew, because I've been following your writing for so many years, and I've always known that you would put it out there on a larger scale someday. And I was just so proud of you when you said you were going to write your book, and I was so excited because I knew it was coming. But it's just like we can have an idea for writing a book or sharing, but sometimes we have to walk through certain things in our life before we're ready because it's meant to go in the book. And sometimes we can have an idea for a book placed in our heart for years before we actually sit down and write it. And you certainly have gone through many transitions, leading up to where you're at now. And now I just see this new chapter for you. And this book is going to be a beautiful start for that. So I wish you nothing but success with everything that's to come now that we put this book out in the world. And I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
If you could just leave our viewers with, one word of wisdom, something, one main takeaway that you want people to hear, whether it has to do with something to do with, a message you share in your book or just something that's on your heart. What would you leave our viewers and our listeners with today?
I would just like everybody to know that you matter and your light matters and your love matters in this world. I know sometimes it's hard to think that we don't make a difference, but we can make a difference. And it starts with healing our hearts. It starts with putting our light out there. And it, like I said, has ripple effects. So you matter, you make a difference.
Ah, beautiful. And you sure are living that right now. So thank you for showing up and shining your light and sharing. It's such an honor to have this book out there. I'm so excited for you. So everybody go out to Amazon right now, type into the search bar Journey to Peace and Healing, and you're going to see this beautiful cover. Let's talk about the cover before we go, because your son actually took the background photo that became the background that we created the book cover from. So do you want to talk about that really quickly before we go? Because I would love to give him some credit for that beautiful photography. And then how did you choose that picture out of all of his beautiful photos?
So my son has been taking pictures since the age of 15. He's a professional photographer, self-employed, lives in Utah now. And he just, as soon as he got his first camera, he went out into nature and he created these magical pictures. And so he, when I knew I was writing a book, I decided I wanted to look at his pictures, asked him if, he would allow me to use one for my cover. And he said, well, sure. And so I was looking for pictures that portrayed darkness and light in them because I felt like that was kind of how my book is structured. It's talking about, the darkness that we have in our light that we're trying to heal and then bringing out our own light. So that's why I chose the one that I chose for the cover. So it just warms my heart so much knowing that that is the photo on my book.
Oh, it's so special. It's so special that he was a part of it, and it's such a beautiful cover, and it does symbolize that. It does stand for that, both that darkness and that light. And if you haven't seen Dawn's cover, that's another reason to go out and look for a copy. You can get her book in Kindle or paperback. If you get it in paperback and you go to her website, she includes shipping with it, and with the paperback version you can do that journaling space right inside it, like we talked about. So it becomes it's the subtitle is a reflective journal or journey to peace and healing, a reflective journal. And it is it is just a nice, beautiful tool to hold in your hands and be able to work with. But if you get the Kindle edition, you can always use your own journal to work through the reflective questions that she has at the end of the chapter. So the Kindle edition is just as powerful as the paperback, and the Kindle edition is discounted today on Amazon. So if you're watching live, make sure you grab your copy, download your copy today, grab one of your favorite journals, and then when you get to the end of each chapter, just do your reflective questions right inside your journal. All right, Dawn. Well, it was so nice having you, and I'm really excited for you and what's to come. And thank you so much for agreeing to come on here and talk a little bit about your book. And I wish you nothing but success with A Journey to Peace and Healing.
Thank you so much, Shanda. I appreciate it.
All right, everyone. Don't forget to go out to Amazon and visit DawnMichelleJackson.com if you'd like to take advantage of her offer to have shipping included in the price of the book.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.